Hello, everyone. I'm Emily May, and this is a Mission Pro Wrestling exclusive interview with none other than the official 6th Mission Pro Wrestling champion. Sorry, Izzy Moreno. So easy about it. Hi! It's the new Mission Pro Wrestling champion. It's so cool. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I was very giddy and laughy when you were introing me, but you did a wonderful job. Thank you for having me on today. Thank you. So excited. This is still very surreal to me. I'm not used to this yet, but eventually we'll get used to this. This is pretty cool. This is such a momentous moment for you. Yes. So you're the 6th champion. So you not only have the history of this title. La Rosa Negra was our first Mission Pro inaugural champion. We had Jasmine Allure, we had Holiday, we had Genocide, yes, and La Princesa, Tiffany Nieves, and now you. So you have some big shoes to fill. So what does this moment feel like for you? And what does it mean to just, again, the history of this title is so important to the history of women's wrestling. I'm sorry, I'm so excited and giddy. You're getting a little teary-eyed. Oh, yeah. It's I've been so emotional this entire past weekend. I think for me, it means a lot just because, like you said, I do have big shoes to fill. Mission Pro Wrestling has been a really big part of women's wrestling in general, representing women's wrestling in the independent scene, but also just women's wrestling, like I said, in general. But for me, the day I walked into Mission Pro Wrestling, I knew this is what I wanted to become. I wanted to become Mission Pro champion. And also, I think for me, it was kind of I want to make history and become the youngest Mission Pro Wrestling champion. So the fact that I am and I get to make history and also represent Mission Pro Wrestling and be the face of the company, it means a lot to me. So yeah, it's been really wild because I've dreamt about this day for such a long time. I've dreamt about this moment, winning the Mission Pro Championship, and now that it's with me, I get to go home with it. It's a really good feeling, and it's like I said, it's so surreal, and I'm very giddy about it. It's I can't stop smiling about it. I know you keep smiling about it, but you also have this, I'm not trying to get emotional, this glimmer in your eye. Oh, really? And every champion has to figure out what their championship reign will be. What will it represent today? So what will your championship reign represent? I think it will represent a lot because, I think what's so great about all the other Mission Pro Wrestling champions who were before me is that they all had their own sort of mission and they all wanted to represent something. I think for me, it's really showing that even though I am the youngest, I still could be a strong champion and have a strong title reign. And it's funny because for the OG BFFs, the last time I got a championship, I was 10 years old and I threw the title away in the trash. And I left pro wrestling because I got a lot of backlash because I was so young and, having a match so young. And I just kind of left and I thought I would never do this ever again. I thought this was it, that I would never make it, and that everybody kind of just didn't like me. And it was hard because I had my own heroes, writing stuff about me online. It was hard to see that. So I just think it's very ironic that I'm now the youngest. And even though what they told me that I couldn't do this because I was too young, here I am today. It's such a crazy feeling, and I'm just so proud of myself and how far I've come, and I just it means a lot to me. And it's I'm super duper emotional about it. I try not to get emotional about it, but I came up in a time where it was very frowned upon to be doing this so young, and I am 17, so I'm still young. But when I did become, when I got a title when I was 10, it was hard because I was just I'm not made for this. I really just didn't believe in myself, and a lot of people just destroyed my confidence. And it's so funny because now that I am Mission Pro champion, I'm just I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm not going to leave pro wrestling if people tell me, oh, she's too young. I really want to represent Mission Pro Wrestling as best as I can, as much as possible, whether it's defending this title at different promotions, not just Mission Pro Wrestling. So yeah, it means a lot. That's basically what I want to represent, is how young I am, and to show that it is cool to go into pro wrestling at such a young age, even though some people tell you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, you are proving everyone wrong here, and it's a journey. And I know we've talked a lot about those struggles of those haters, and where everyone might not be your best friend.
No,
you recently, we've seen the last couple of months, Thunder Rosa wanting to teach you a lesson, and really trying to be on the side of Tiffany Nieves. And do you have something to say to Thunder Rosa now that you are Mission Pro champion?
Yeah, I think, the moment's is gonna happen. We're gonna be in the ring together eventually. I don't think, I'm not gonna shy away from that. I'm not gonna try to hide it, because that is my goal. And you know what? Even if I have to defend this against her, I'm fine with that. I'm more than confident to be sharing the ring with Thunder Rosa and to still retain my title when I do face her. I think for me, it's just kind of like, I'm still so heartbroken over what happened between me and Thunder Rosa. It was just kind of, it really brought up a lot of old feelings from the past, of people who I've looked up to, people who I've literally admired and idolized for such a long time, and then, them going behind my backs and, mocking me online, in her case, for slapping me in front of my BFFs. But like I said, it brought up a lot of old feelings. So I think, that's something very scary. Not for me, but it should be for her, because, we saw a different side of me on Saturday when I became Mission Pro champion. The side that Thunder Rosa is going to get is going to be even more scary, and it's going to be even more aggressive. And I really hope Thunder, tries to prepare herself as much as she can, but I really don't think she's ready for the Izzy Moreno she's going to be stepping in the ring with eventually.
Okay. Thunder Rosa will have to kind of keep an eye on that. So you posted on social media recently a picture of you holding up the WWE Divas sign. And you were, 6 there?
I don't know. Probably, 6 or 7. I know I was young in that picture.
And so I know that you have fans that hold up signs with your name on it. So what does that feel for you to have that full circle moment? That you were that kid holding up that sign at an arena, seeing your favorite wrestlers, and then now you have young fans that are doing the same.
It's a really awesome feeling, because, growing up a pro wrestling fan and watching so much, I always dreamt of those type of full circle moments. Man, I wonder what my biggest fan is going to be like one day. I wonder what my fans are going to be like. Are they going to make signs for me? Are they going to wear my t-shirts? What extremes are they going to go to for me? Because I used to go to the extreme for my favorite wrestlers.
We saw it unfold.
Yes, literally. So it's really cool just to see people, love Izzy Moreno so much, and just kind of take her into their arms and just adore her. It's really awesome. So from the signs, I remember at my debut match here at Mission Pro against Jasper Lore, once upon a time, a little girl, she had a custom Izzy shirt, and I'll never forget when I was 8 or 9, I made a custom shirt for my favorite wrestler, and that was kind of the beginning of it all. And so just to see her make, and the whole family has custom Izzy shirts, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then I like to call this first section by the entrance, by BFF section, you have Countdown City WrestleCast, and then there's a brother and sister that sit in the front row too with them, and there's little Aiden, who's been my number one day one.
She's Mission Pro fan and fan.
Yes, all of them are huge Mission Pro fans, but they're continuing supporting so much to me. So it means a lot. And just to, I don't like speaking for people, but I'd like to say that I am an inspiration to them. And it's really cool because, sometimes people will tell me I want to be a wrestler because of you. Or it's what always gets me is the dads that always come up to me and are like, hey, I introduced my daughter to wrestling because of you. Like I showed her you like wrestling, and now she's like a huge fan, and we like go to shows we watch all the time, because that's kind of the relationship I have with my parents, but specifically my dad. So it means a lot to me when I get to have those type of moments, and I'll never forget them. It's something I always cherish. It doesn't matter where I go, whether it's at convention or at shows and different places. Like when I have those moments, it's just kind of like, I like to call them my little core memories, and those are like my core BFF memories.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of your parents are two of your BFFs.
Yes.
Biggest fans.
Yes.
What would you like to tell them?
This is where you mess me up. Oh, I have a lot to tell them. First off, I'm sorry I didn't put my clothes away. That's always the issue in the house. That's always the issue in the household. And I think for me, it's because I feel like saying thank you is very obvious, but it really is thank you, because my parents, they've allowed me to start this crazy journey. They've always supported me, and like I'll never forget kind of like the day I told them, I was like, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to be a professional wrestler. And they were like, okay. They're like, we don't care what you want to be, whether you want to be an astronaut, a doctor, a pro wrestler, whatever. We're going to go full steam at it. And I was like, okay. And we really did. We've stuck together since, obviously we stuck together, but literally. Like,
you are.
Yeah, I'm stuck with my parents. Oh, but literally we've been such a tight unit forever. And I really, really, really do think pro wrestling has brought us closer some way, somehow, because we've always been super close. I've never been one to like always feel like, oh, my parents. Like I'm like, it's literally like the two people who I hang out with are my parents, like literally, and that's it. I always like to think we're like a small family, just this. But they
have to work that way. You have to operate together, and you have to confer with each other. Like, we're going to do this. It takes a lot of work.
I tell my parents literally everything when it comes to my career. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? I'm thinking about doing this, and they'll give me their honest opinion. And it means so much to me, and they've sacrificed so much for me to be in this position today. They moved from Florida to Texas. They dropped everything, and they're like, hey, we're gonna do this. We're doing this. And I just think, like, no matter what anybody says, I don't think people see the behind the scenes of my parents. I think always people see kind of like, a lot of people believe what others have to say. But I think for me, I've been so fortunate to have parents that truly love me and truly just want the world for me. And that's what my parents have always been. They've always supported me. They've never pushed me into anything. They've just always been like, hey, whatever you do, you have our full support, but as long as you do a full effort, that's all that matters. So I've been really grateful, and we've been able to share so many amazing memories from attending shows when I was younger. I'll never forget the day of my debut match here at Mission Pro. That day was amazing. I had this awesome picture. I forgot who took it of them. It was during Mission Pro Mania, and my mom was sobbing, and my dad was cheering, because that's like actually a really good picture of their dynamic. Is like my mom's always crying during my dad's always cheering, and dad's like hyped. And I had one too from my debut match. My mom is like wiping her tears, and it's such a cute picture. They're holding hands, and then my dad is just looking at my mom, or looking at the camera like, I told you so. Like, we told you he was going to be this good.
It's almost been a year since you debuted at Mission Pro.
Yeah.
And then now, look what you're told.
I know. It's crazy.
It's been a wild journey for you.
It has. Yeah. Yes. And I really don't think it would be for, like, if it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't be here. So, just to end off on that question, I have so much to say about my parents in the best ways possible, but I love you, Mom and Dad. Thank you for everything. Thank you for making sure I was never stuck in the corner.
Don't know what that means.
But it's crazy to think, because I feel like last year was not my best year at Mission Pro. We all know it. I lost all my matches in Mission Pro Wrestling.
It was a journey.
Yes, it was a journey. But I going into 2024, I knew I had to turn the tides, like, majorly. And that's what I really did. I took baby steps. I got my first win in February at Sleepless in San Antonio against Missa Kate. And then, that turned into JP Harlow and Thunder Rosa, which that wasn't really planned for me. But, it did kind of throw me off my game a little bit. But then I became the Mission Pro Wrestling Cup holder. And then here I am today, Mission Pro Wrestling champion. It's really crazy just how quick it all happened. I know a lot of people are, probably thinking like, oh, she was handed this opportunity, is it her fan base or her following or her platform, whatever it may be. But, since the day I walked into Mission Pro, this was kind of the goal. And I think everybody understood that, I faced Tiffany back at Ladies Night Out WrestlePay. I lost it, but, here I am today, Mission Pro champion. So it just kind of goes to show, like, to never really give up and, to always be your biggest fan.
I love that. I think that's very inspiring for those watching that want to be a wrestler and they want to start that journey. So we're gonna talk Taylor Swift. I have to always at Taylor Swift.
Who's Izzy Moreno anyways? Ew. If you're a real Swiftie, you know what this means. But for those who don't, it's a song lyric. This is a shirt she wears on the Eras tour. It's one of the many shirts she wears.
I know we've talked about lots of your favorite Taylor Swift songs, but I have to ask, what is the song that is going to represent your championship era?
Oh, man. Well, this is so cool because this is now the BFF era of Mission Pro Wrestling, which is so beautiful and amazing. And, like, I'm so elated that it's finally happening, that everybody's finally in their BFF era. It's about time. I would say Long Live, honestly. I think that's, because that song is a song for Taylor's fans, the Swifties. So I really think that's kind of like my song for my fans, because when I do listen to it, I always think about my fans and then my parents and, my coaches and everything. Because, it just talks about, there's a specific line. She goes, all the years we stood on the sidelines waiting for right now. And that line just strikes me every time because I've had to sit on the sidelines for such a long time.
Everyone else do what you want to do.
Basically, and it was so hard. And then I was like, wait, what about me? Why am I only getting the backlash? This isn't fair. But then, I think about, all those times I had to sit and wait and then dreaming about times like this. And here we are today. And I think, this is a perfect representation of that line. And also, just thinking about my fans and how they've been there for me forever. And then also the line where she goes, if you have children one day, please point to the pictures and tell them my name. That line, I'm like, listen, like all my little BFFs, listen, just point to my picture. Yes, little BFFs, listen, one day still point to my picture. But yeah, Long Live is definitely going to be the BFF title reign song for all the BFFs. It's fun. Yeah, we'll play it loud. Yes, we should always play it. Right after I retain my title, we should play it. Just saying.
Okay.
That's just a thought. That's just a thought.
So also you had such incredible gear for your championship match against Tiffany.
Sorry, I love that gear so much.
Speak about this custom gear, what it means, some of the meaning behind it, the representation that it entails.
So, when the match was announced, by the way, I design all my gear. Like, I'm so creative in that way where I'm like, I know what I want. Because I'm very, like, I don't think anybody will see my vision. And, I knew what for this gear I wanted to be, like, so, like, different than what I usually wear, but also so special and important and have such a meaning to it. So, as you guys saw, it's red with silver stars. I did rhinestone, the outline of the stars, and the BYBF. However, I have, in the little stars, there are names embroidered in it, and those are all names or places of people, or like I said, places that have helped me get to this place. So on my top, I have my mom and dad. On the back of my top, I have Ron and Kevin, who are the names of my gear designers. They are absolutely incredible. Shout out to them. I absolutely love you guys, and I miss you guys so much. I can't wait to send you guys more stuff, and you guys are going to slay again. And then on my pants, I have other names. So I have Hybrid, which is my pro wrestling school here in Texas. I have Marvel, which is my coach Marvel, Chris Marvel, the amazing Chris Marvel, who's also one of my many dads. I have Ricky, who's my jiu-jitsu coach and one of my other dads. Absolutely adore him. I would not be the competitor I am today without him because he's taught me all my armbar. Just saying.
They come in handy.
They do. And then MPW has their own star because, you know, I mean, it's kind of obvious. I had to put MPW on there because you guys were, right, had my debut and you guys allowed me and you guys let me become the youngest Worship Pro Wrestling champion. So it means a lot to me. There's a couple other names on there. My photography teacher who takes all of my promo shots. So he gets to see my gear first before everybody else. And he's let me take pictures during school. He's let me, you know, chill out during school after a long weekend of wrestling. I'm blanking on the rest of the names, but those are some of the ones that come.
Those are special. It's really special.
Oh, wait, I'm forgetting. Bully Ray. Bully has his own star. Yes. My uncle Bully.
He was cheering you on this weekend.
Yes, I love him. I really do. I had to put in because, you know, he's always helped me in some way. I'll never forget the day he was like, I want you to call me Uncle Bully. And I was like, okay. I was like, I got you. And then, like, even before I was wrestling, like, we hop on, like, Zoom calls and we talk about just wrestling. I try to learn them, like, as much as I can from him. So, yeah, I had to put him on there. But, you know, the kind of whole meaning about it is those people and places have helped me get to here. But also the BYBF. Usually I do Izzy down the side, but, you know, it means be your biggest fan. But it's also has a little double meaning is that all the people that are on the star, those are people who were my biggest fans. Some point in my life, you know, they've always been there since day one. So I had to include those people. So the gear means a lot. And then also, you guys saw in the entrance, I had a different, who's Izzy Moreno anyways, I wanted to incorporate some sort of Taylor Swift.
Yeah. And I would be very disappointed if you did.
I know. I would be disappointed in myself too. And I was trying to figure out like how to do it. You know, I was toying at the Reputation bodysuit and I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know how to make this more Izzy Moreno.
Yeah, you gotta be you.
Like, Reputation's my favorite album, but I was like, how do I make this bright Izzy Moreno? I was struggling with that one. And then I saw the shirt and I was like, that would be so cute. So my amazing merch team, Yvette Hobby, filled it. They did this shirt and then they did the one I wore in my entrance. And I love that shirt. Because it's symbolic too. It's like, who's Izzy Moreno anyway? Like,
yeah.
Like, who is she? Who's this kid that's like the youngest Mission Pro champion? Like, ill.
Obviously, you're proving everyone that you belong here, that this is what you're meant to be doing. And it's incredible. You're our 6th Mission Pro champion, youngest ever. And you're on your journey. And we all are so excited. We can't wait to see what you do with it, where you take it.
Yeah, I know.
I do have a message, though, from La Princesa, Tiffany Miavet. She sent me this message. She wanted me to ask you, how do you feel about her being your mom's favorite wrestler?
That's a little too personal. I'm just saying, because I know that's not true. I know my mom's favorite wrestler is me. It's Izzy Moreno.
Tiffany was very adamant about it.
She's still trying to play mind games. Like, girl, I took her title. Like, I mean, I guess go somewhere else. She has other places to be, not here.
Wow. All right. Well, so you have to talk to Thunder, and Tiffany had words for you too. So the thing is, once you're champion, you have a target on your back.
I do.
So people are looking to you as not only to lead the locker room and be a leader and be the voice of women's wrestling, but also people are going to come after that.
Yeah.
So who are you kind of watching out for?
That's hard to say because there's a lot of people I know.
There's a whole line of women that are like, I should have had a shot before you.
Yeah, and that's the funny part. For those people who think that it was, too soon for me, for people that think that I can't handle it, that I'm just some kid and they're going to go buy, they want to place a bet and that if I win that they're going to go buy everybody something, whatever the case may be.
Make some bets.
Yeah, that's apparently people place bets on me. whatever the case may be, you know, I welcome it. I really do. I welcome it with open arms.
Welcome every challenger, any challenge.
No, I do. I really do.
All over the world.
Yes. And that's what I want to be as a champion. I don't want to shy away because that's never been who I am. I've never been, you know, now that I am champion, you know, the journey and, you know, the chase was awesome. And that's like, that was the fun part about it. But now that I'm champion, you know, I have to, I have a lot to.
You got to show what that championship spirit means.
Yeah.
It means, like you talked earlier about what this championship means to you, what it means to little girls and little boys.
Yeah, that's what I know. Like, I don't
to find that person to look up to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I welcome anybody who challenges me. I really do. I don't have anybody in particular. You know, I know there's girls in the back.
Sure, people step up.
Yeah, and I know there's people who have never even stepped foot in Mission Pro Wrestling eyeing this title. Mission Pro Wrestling is just that company. Yes, we are really that company. I'm going to say it. But yeah, I really welcome anybody to step in the ring with me. But you can't beat the power of the BFFs and this BFF right here. But yeah, whoever wants to step up, go ahead. I welcome it. I really do.
Well, thank you, Izzy Moreno.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Thank you, Mission Pro Wrestling champion. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
And we will learn who your first challenger is on your first reign as Mission Pro Wrestling champion. Congratulations.
Thank you
for all of your time. Go some interesting candy and Taylor Swift songs.
Oh yes, I'm gonna go listen to more of I Can Do It for Local Card.
Thank you all so much. Tune in to Mission Pro Wrestling on Title Match Network and catch Izzy Moreno, our new Mission Pro Wrestling champion. I'm Emily May. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.